Hello, I thought I'd do a quick video showing how I clean my Springfield Armory XDS. I have another video that's a full review of the pistol on my channel, Boomer Gun. I also have a video that shows some concealed carry holster options that I like. Feel free to watch those. Anyway, let's get to it. So do a safety check. The magazine's out already. Chamber is empty. While the slide is back, just move this lever up. Let the slide come forward. On Springfield XDS, you actually have to pull the trigger to release the slide from the gun, and it'll slide right off when you pull the trigger. So I kind of keep a hold on it real, lightly. Pull the trigger, then pull it off. Frame, slide. Take out the recoil. Dual recoil spring, take out the barrel, and it's apart. So set the frame aside for now. The first thing I like to do is take some CLP and really saturate, not oversaturate, but get this patch nice and wet. Run it through the barrel a couple of times. I set the barrel aside and let that CLP work on the inside of that barrel. So I'll take this rag that I've got some old sweatpants, and just really cut it up into squares, and just use that for miscellaneous cleaning. Works really well. Wipe down the recoil spring, set that aside. So my primary cleaning tool, I will admit, is a Q-tip. So the first step in the cleaning is I'll take as many Q-tips as it takes, CLP on each end, and just run it across any place I can get to in here, and until the end of the Q-tips come out fairly clean. Sometimes it takes a few more than others, depending on how many rounds you shot, how long it's been since you cleaned it. So just kind of do that process. My last run through, when the Q-tips are fairly clean, I'll put again CLP on the end, and I'll do kind of a lube step. So I'll run it through this area right here where the slide runs along the frame, and then that part's pretty much done. I take surprisingly, you get a lot of powder residue in here, as the bullet's coming out of the gun. So make sure you kind of run the Q-tip in through here as well. So set that aside, come back to the frame, and basically do the same thing with the frame. Go, CLP on the Q-tips, anywhere I can get to in here with the Q-tips, and until the Q-tips come out clean. Then the final step, CLP on the ends of the Q-tip, and just run it along the top of the frame where you can see that the slide runs along, and just to lube that. I give it a little extra care too to this little piece right here. I don't know if you can see that. That is the start of the feed ramp, and it matches up on the barrel. I'll show you in a minute. And make sure I get that nice and clean, so none of the rounds have any problem chambering. So back in here, down in here. Another thing I've been doing lately, I've been taking some compressed air and taking this outside when I've got it pretty well clean. There's a lot of areas in here that I can't get to, down in here and down in here. There's some springs in here and all that. So I take it outside and just blow some compressed air through there, and it usually blows some particles out of there, so I know it needs it. So that's been something that I think is worthwhile, that I've added to my cleaning process here. So those are all cleaned. Now I come back to the barrel, and I'll run a patch through again, till it's a couple of times. Then I'll replace the patch with the brush and run that through the barrel. Some people like to run it through just one way. They take it off, pull it around here, put it back on, run it through. Some people run it, back and forth, whatever you're comfortable doing. So then I'll put the patches back on, run the patches through till it's nice and clean, the barrel's nice and clean on the inside. So then I like to take the Q-tips again and work on, in particular, this feed ramp. This is the feed ramp part that goes back and matches on the start of the feed ramp in the frame. So it comes from the factory just nice and polished, and I really like to keep that nice and clean. This area here too, again, a brush can come in handy, and some of this area to keep that nice and clean. Maybe a little final light coat along here to just lube it as it moves along in the slide. So then just put it back together. Pretty quick and easy. Barrel in. Recoil spring in. Lever down. Then the last thing I always do is take the rag again and just, invariably I've had some CLP on my hands and gotten it here and there on the outside of the gun. So I just kind of take this rag and just wipe down the outside of the gun, and in particular out here, along the fiber optic side out here, because this gets a lot of powder exposure out here, and that's what I do to clean my pistol. So hopefully this is helpful.